I don't know what the future will be, but it's not sustainable to do what we're doing, to get rid of our rainforests, to cattle graze. I know there's people out there that are like vegans inside. You love animals, try some cashew cheese, because you just might be a vegan. I was around 15 or 16 and just had always loved animals, and then I made the connection that the food I was eating was also animals. When I became a teenager and was able to start cooking, I started transitioning to vegan. Your taste buds are the first thing to start changing your mind. If the food is good, the rest follows. Once you start tasting delicious vegan food and have delicious vegan cheese, it just kind of sets something off that says, okay, maybe I can do this. So I think it's really important that vegan chefs are always moving forward and always like coming up with these new methods and new flavors. Vegan cheese has come a really long way. I really can't take that much credit for it. There's a lot of different methods that people have been developing for the past couple of decades. It's really made a huge difference in how people react to vegan food. Because 30 years ago, vegan cheese did not taste good. It didn't melt. We don't even want to talk about it. You want to get that tangy, fermented, aged flavor, and there's lots of different methods to do it. On our cheese plate, we try and represent a few of those different methods. We changed the cheese plate quite a bit. We've got a dill Havarti, which is just like my childhood cheese that I loved growing up. That one is cashew-based, and it's just aged a little bit with the probiotics. It's got obviously the herbs and caraway. The smoked cheddar is one of those where we're using miso to get the flavor in there. We're also actually smoking the cheese, so it's not like liquid smoke or something. We're using methods that produce the best flavors. So we're trying to go for the textures and flavors that their namesakes have. So like for the cheddar, we want it to be sharp, obviously, and we want it to be like pungent and powerful. For the chev, like a lightness and herbiness and just like a melt in your mouthness that we're going for. The burrata is kind of based on a mozzarella recipe that's on the internet from a woman named Miyoko. It's got a firmer texture outside and a creamier texture inside, and we use a cultured coconut yogurt and we use cashew for it, and we use a brine and some agar-agar, which is a seaweed that is like gelatin, to kind of give it the texture that we're looking for. So it was kind of an evolution. The mac and cheese is our signature dish, both here and in Omaha, and it's a roasted red pepper cashew mac sauce. It's gluten-free as well. It comes with blackened cauliflower steaks, sauteed kale with tomato vinaigrette, and a pecan cornmeal crusted tofu that some people compare to like a fried chicken, and some spiced pecans. And that is one thing we can never take off the menu. So it's like our baby. People just love mac and cheese. If you have a really great mac and cheese, that's what's going to outsell everything else. When I first went vegan, a lot of the restaurants I'd go to were Ital restaurants, and so I'd have a lot of West Indian food. Jerk was one of my favorite flavors in the whole world. I just fell in love with it immediately. And like beef patties, but they were vegan, obviously. I always had jerk tofu when I first went vegan, in the 80s. So we do serve a jerk yuba dish here that has like a really nice Jamaican curry powder. Yuba is tofu skin, and I guess you can compare it to duck skin in that it's just like really meaty and it's thin and crispy, and all the sauce gets into it. You get these nice like crispy parts and burnt parts, and then you get these nice like chewy parts. So that dish was really important to me. I think it's almost impossible to compare vegan culture now to vegan culture then, because then it was such a subculture. Now you can go to any restaurant, anywhere in America at least, and say the word vegan and people will at least somewhat know what it means. Sometimes they'll be like, you mean gluten-free? But they've heard the word. Words have always changed meanings. The word bean used to mean meat 200 years ago. We just need to accept, like, as food evolves, as cultures combine, that these things, it's going to change. I think when you call something a hamburger and it's not a hamburger, it still gives people a point of reference. But when it comes to vegan, people are like, well, don't call it a burger. And I'm like, no, it, I'm calling it a burger. It's a burger. Maybe in 100 years, people will be like, meat in a burger? That's crazy.